Hi, Leo. Welcome to your September 2024 love reading. It's Sagittarius Yogini. Okay. Oh, I gotta put this on the side. I can't. Pick an additional card. I don't like to end with twos because they're dualistic. Okay. So I ended up picking a few extra cards. Okay. Heart of the matter is the Two of Swords. You can see the woman's blindfold, which indicates that she might be operating under some sort of delusion, or she's not choosing between two actual choices. She's kind of presenting that to herself, that she has this choice, but it's really not the case. And this is when sometimes a person may, let's say somebody is married and they're having an affair, and I'm not, condoning it, but this happens. And so she's choosing between a marriage partner and somebody she's having an affair with. And neither one of those, maybe the person she's having a fling with, isn't an appropriate choice for a partner either. And she might know it at a deeper level. And the person that she's married to, she's not in a healthy relationship with. So what is that? What kind of choice is that? This is about, sometimes this can be about being like there being a stalemate. You're at a crossroads, but it's like you can't move forward. There's like that stagnant energy. By the way, this love reading is for single Leos as well as people in troubled relationships. So it's kind of looking at the things that might be blocking that for the person, might be blocking love, for instance. In the past position, we have the Hanged One. In this deck, they don't say man. I guess man is like I was going to say is a dirty word to them, but I mean, it's, it's because it was the Rider Waite is male centric, I guess. So this one is female centric, but I like to call it the Hangman. This is a card of being, sometimes this can be that you have needlessly sacrificed for somebody else, or that another possibility is being in limbo, being kind of like jerked around is how I put it when it comes to relationships, because it can mean that someone is maybe giving you these empty promises. If it's so, again, I think of a person having an affair who is being told by the person that they're having the affair with, oh yeah, I'm going to leave my wife, and it never happens. And if you're single, these cards can still be relevant, because even with the Two of Swords, the idea of relationship may be something that is a sore subject with you for some reason. Maybe you've had negative relationships in the past, and you're not sure you want to, continue. Leo's a very romantic sign, but the thing is that you also have a big heart, and if that heart gets broken, then it becomes harder and harder to have faith in this thing that seems like it's destined to create more problems than it solves. And love doesn't really solve problems, but at least it can alleviate some of the suffering that we feel when we know that there's somebody there who understands our pain, right? So, um, what's coming in is the King of Cups. This can be a mature water sign male in particular. I mean, I'm going to read it as the literal sense. So, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. By the way, mature doesn't have to be chronologically older. They do say that in some of these tarot books, but just life experience tells you that chronology doesn't cut it. It can be anyone. So it could be a water sign male. I would say Scorpio is the one that a lot of Leo people tend to be attracted to. But this is also the card of the counselor. So you may seek counseling if you feel that you can't move forward. Also, not just counselor, but a guru, or I really don't like the word guru because it almost sounds like, you're not thinking for yourself, but somebody like a spiritual teacher of some sort. And that person you may lean on to provide support or insight into your situation. Could be a father figure who's very understanding. What crosses you is the Empress. This is the card of the Earth Mother, the artist, the lover. It's actually, you can see Venus. That's a symbol for Venus. I think what crosses some of you, obviously not all, is the desire to be a parent. I was going to say a mother, but I want to be more inclusive of men. Leo rules the 5th house and is connected to children. So you may be of an age where you're like, I want to have children now, and you might be less selective than you should be. So if that's the case, where you are concerned about this, please be discerning of anyone that you choose to create a life with. It's just so, the stakes are so high that it is really important to be discerning about that. And also, another thing too is, this is specifically, I would say, for females, is the Empress. I'm reading it like a reversed card because that's the challenging version of it. It can be the woman who uses femininity in a toxic way to get what she wants. And typically how this occurs is with sexuality. And this is not to say that a woman has to be, covered from head to toe or anything like that. But when there's like this desire to form a relationship by using that kind of, you could say that's like an easy lure. The energy behind that is not intentional for a permanent relationship. If you're looking for a fling and you just want a good time, then that's a different story. But if you really are looking to form a life with someone, and if you are also looking to, even in some cases, start a family with someone, then your intention is what gets the ball rolling. You might say, oh no, but really deep down inside, I mean, I really do want a family, or I want a life partner, but this seems to be the only way to make that happen. And I would say, no, I don't believe that at all, because it doesn't work that way. You can't attract something with one thing and expect another result. that doesn't really wash. So this is where the outcome cards come in, because the card I got for the outcome is the Five of Cups, which is a card of mourning the loss of something. So for sure, you know, when I look at these two cards up here, it really speaks to this issue of somebody who has to make a difficult decision because they feel like they're being like hung out to dry, so to speak. And if somebody is single and maybe they have somebody in mind that they are interested in or who is showing interest, they have to make up their mind whether or not to risk their heart. By the way, I would say, when I'm talking about the single Leo people, this is especially true if you have Venus or Mars in Cancer, this adjacent sign, because it's very sensitive, and your moon sign might be Scorpio or any of the water signs where there's there's a tenderness. Leo is very, bold because it's a fire sign. But when you have like inner planets that are in water, you can be more gun shy about risking your heart. That's what I should say. And also, maybe if you have your sun in the fourth house or the 12th house, for instance, in particular. So you might have very sensitive soul. The Five of Cups means that and it's funny, it's right under the King of Cups. It means you might have to what's the term I want to use? Like, you might have to admit that you are sad. Maybe you've tried to kind of just jump back into the fray if you're single now but you just recently ended a relationship. Or if you are somebody who has other kinds of losses, maybe it's not a partner but a parent or a sibling or a friend, a good friend. You may be in an emotional place that you're not even aware of. So having a relationship or even wanting a relationship you might be very ambivalent about that, come to think of it. So let's talk about these two additional cards that I picked, and they're both Earth. So the first thing we can say is that it's all about grounding, which means that and to me, the Empress ultimately is Taurus. So when we talk about grounding, we're talking about what is real, and actually even the nervous system, because it's part of the body. That's something that we have to look at when we're talking about grounding. So the Two of Pentacles, this is why I picked another card, because it was another two. It's like choosing something that, if you have like the choice between two people, and I would say if you're coupled, that's one of the persons. It's really like, what is realistic? Because there's something abstract about the swords. They're connected to the air signs. But sometimes we're living in our heads, and our hopes and wishes are vague. And we have to approach this from realism, not idealism. A lot of people screw up their lives because maybe they're going through something. Maybe they're going through the grief process, and they are wanting some kind of comfort, or maybe they're going through a midlife crisis, and all of a sudden they feel like they're trapped and maybe their life isn't that bad, and they feel like they have to make all these major changes on the outside. But really, the twos are about making a choice, but it should come from a grounded perspective, not something where it's emotional, like the Two of Cups, or something that is abstract. In other words, like these ideas or these ideals that you have that may not be practical, that really are fueled by our emotional chaos within the person at that time. That could be short-lived. You know what I mean? I mean, sometimes if somebody has a significant death in their life, they may feel like these very strong emotions that will pass, and they feel like they have to change all these things because life is so brief and all of this, when all they have to do is just kind of sit with their grief and integrate it, not try to escape from it. And who knows, maybe they realize that their life is perfect as it is. It was just that they had to go through this understanding that life is temporary, for sure. And Nine of Pentacles. Nine of Pentacles is really about what we have, our resources, our independent resources. And so Two of Pentacles and Nine of Pentacles, it could very well mean, and I would say this too with the Empress card, that for a person who is unhappy in a relationship, you may feel like, I don't have the finances to live on my own. And that is true for some people. That is just the truth. They would like to leave, but they can't. So what that would suggest is that perhaps you need to stop spending so much money. Maybe, because this can be the overly materialistic person who is wasting resources. The Two of Pentacles might be that you get another job or you create a side business for yourself that will provide extra money that you can save so that you can eventually be financially independent and cultivate financial independence. That's what the Nine of Pentacles represents, is financial independence. And the thing is that this is one of the reasons why the Two of Swords, the woman is wearing a blindfold, because we can want to change something, but we may not have the conditions where this is really viable. And that can be extremely frustrating because our emotions are getting ahead of the practicalities. But that doesn't mean that we can't get there eventually. It involves foresight and diligence. That's how it is. And if you're single, it means that you can, I feel like the Nine of Pentacles is about having the resources that you need to live a life on your own terms. So what I would say is not to rush things and to be very picky about anyone that you allow in your inner circle, because you are a very generous person, and sometimes generosity is met with exploitation, and you deserve not to have your heart crushed. So that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like an astrological reading or a tarot reading, please consult the contact information below. Thank you for watching. Bye.